Yo 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 yo. Hey, don't cuss. Yo 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 yo. Slime told me about flock cameras not too long ago, so I've been watching my surroundings. Can't go to jail. Too pussy. How you think they make Molotovs? Nigga think he's so funny, bro. You not funny. Nigga talking about
There
my
is a
nose pointing
war
at the
fought
sub
all around
count.
us
Nigga,
every single day, which many
the
people
fuck?
have never even heard of. It's a battle against
Girl,
authoritarian
why you calling
surveillance,
me?
and we, the people of
I'm
this
not
nation,
answering this
and the
shit.
world for that matter, are currently losing that war.
Nigga said it's giving zesty. But you said it's giving. Get your stupid ass back, bruh. Like it's giving zesty, but you said it's giving. It's giving. Get your stupid ass back, bruh. Like what? You just came for me, now I came on you. Like, look, my bitch say it's giving. Why can't I? You literally just said why. She's your girl. Exactly. You not a bitch, is it? My fault. He is a bitch. He is a bitch. Bitch ass nigga. Oh shit. That nigga said shut your no gig. Alright, let's watch the video. Let's watch the video. Oh my god. He said shut your no gig.
Let me begin by describing the enemy, or at least one of them. Flock Group Incorporated is an American safety technology company headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, who specializes in the production of multiple devices, but chief among them, something called ALPRs, also known as Automated License Plate Readers. These cameras, individually powered by their own solar panels, utilize a proprietary AI model to capture and interpret images of passing vehicles, or so they say. Far beyond any sort of current competitor, Flock cameras gather information such as make, model, car, and license plate, but also other visible characteristics like roof racks, aftermarket parts, or even bumper stickers. In the past few years, over 90,000 of these cameras have
Nah, this
popped
ain't
up
no
all across the
market,
United
Facebook
States,
market
with
ad,
hundreds of
nigga. It
thousands more
sound like it, don't
globally.
it?
But the distribution framework for how these cameras end up in local communities is a little bit obfuscated. Flock as a company doesn't have just one contract, they have thousands. The hardware that they make and the software that they're perfecting in order to run it are being sold to police precincts, private businesses, major corporations, municipalities, and everything in between. According to the company themselves, using court decisions as well as elected representative statements for justification, according to the company themselves, what they're doing is not mass surveillance. But if you look just a
It
tiny bit
is.
deeper, it becomes flatly impossible to ever accept that explanation. The way that Flock represents their products and services appears to be wildly different from reality. Quote, Flock ALPRs do not and cannot track vehicles, much less individual people. ALPRs take a point in time image of the rear of vehicles on public roadways. They are incapable of tracking the whole of anyone's movements, a determination that has been consistently made by courts across the country. End quote. That statement from the official Flock website needs to be immediately disputed. Right off the bat, taking a photograph of a vehicle with a timestamp, a license plate, and a location absolutely is fundamentally tracking them. If you take one snapshot with one camera, but then take five more during separate intervals across a 25-minute journey at various different
They flat
locations,
out
you
bullshit
are
though.
undeniably tracking movements, period. It may be true that the cameras themselves are employed by different jurisdictions or companies. It may also be true that whatever customer originally purchased the cameras had no intention for them to be used in such a way, but the simple truth of the matter is that compiling this type of surveillance data into a searchable index, which is what they're doing, allows for the tracking of citizens. And if we take a much more precise example, we can see exactly how that's possible. Let's use the Bessemer City, North Carolina Police Department for demonstrational purposes. This particular client operates about 20
Pretty
LPR
much.
cameras. They've cataloged over 72,000 vehicles in the past 30 days alone. But all of this data is being shared with almost 2,000 additional organizations across the entire country. These are mainly local police departments or federal law enforcement agencies, but the concept of this isn't mass surveillance falls apart immediately when you realize that the majority of your clients communicate, share, and coordinate their data not only with each other, but also the government. Historically speaking, governments with the ability to individually track the movements of their population do not end up using that ability to enhance freedoms. Still, the concept of ALPR cameras is a mere surface level issue because the true scope of the problem is much larger.
Harry, that's the point of this video. That's the point of the video, gang.
All over the Flock official website are safety proclamations, safer communities, privacy first, utopian claims of a better society. But if you look at their FAQ, you'll find statements like this one.
He basically
Quote,
called you dumb
who
as
has
fuck, but I'm gonna
access
say
to
it for
Flock
him.
footage?
You're dumb as
Flock
fuck.
will not share, sell, or access your data. End quote. Elsewhere again, quote, nobody from Flock Safety is accessing or monitoring your footage. End quote. That sounds good as a simple declaration on a website, but after a series of public records requests by a man named Jason Hunyar in Dunwoody, Georgia, the depth of the issue becomes far more obvious. It would seem, based on public records disclosure, that Flock employees are not only accessing data from cameras routinely, they're also facilitating API access for various...
You're right. They don't got Flock. They probably got some way more advanced shit than this. So, you know...
various third parties, despite the fact that their customer, Dunwoody, Georgia PD in this case, allegedly didn't have an existing agreement with that third party. These records also appear to show that Flock employees were deliberately masking certain accounts from having their searches appear in audits, as well as numerous Flock employees either accessing live cameras or previous recordings. In some cases, these cameras were positioned to view pools, gymnastics rooms, and fitness studios, while the VP of Business Development, Bob Carter, seems to have accessed many such cameras, one in particular at a children's gymnastics room in the local Jewish community center, allegedly during a sales demonstration. The company has since done a fair bit of damage control on all of this, including a letter to the affected community apologizing for poor judgment, but there's a couple of things we now need to address. First and foremost, license plate readers on public roadways are not the only product that Flock sells. Obviously, if it were, why would they ever be in the gym or the community center? Far from it, actually. In addition to the AI-powered license plate scanners, Flock also manufactures microphones. They're called Ravens, and they, quote, detect community disruption, expand awareness of nonviolent threats, including sideshows, fireworks, and other disruptive community activity, end quote. Not only is the company selling widespread, always active road...
They need to ban this shit. But that's ass. Why would they even want some shit like that? Because people are weird. There's people in the world that like just love weird ass shit like this. Like, why do you need a camera to listen to? So what? It's violence, right? Violence been going on for how many years? Niggas been dying how many years? Gunshots been, murders been happening how many years? Don't some of them niggas end up getting caught? The ones that don't, cool. It's not cool, but you get what I'm saying. So like, y'all creating cameras and shit to listen and all this other shit. No, when you hear the neighbors that was around when it happened gonna call the police, boom, you found out like that. Why you need cameras? Cause all the camera gonna do is probably tell them a little faster, but the same shit gonna happen, so it's the same process. Am I tripping? I mean, they could just make something that reads license plates, not tracking people movements. They got something. The cameras that be up on the lights, the street lights. Please, police, detectives, they get paid to just investigate and find that shit out. So why do you need this if that's their job? Maybe I'll be tripping. Maybe I'll be tripping.
Roadway detection, which is being shared by an exponentially growing number of local and federal law enforcement agencies. They're also selling audio detection, and if you want the most horrifying example of all, on top of this, they're selling AI-powered motion tracking surveillance cameras called Condors, specifically designed to monitor, track, and
Something
zoom
only leaves
on
on
human targets.
only leaves
These
on
are the type of cameras that were presumably accessed live by their employees, despite
Exactly.
all of the claims on their website. But
Like,
these cameras
imagine me and Slime just having a regular conversation, but like it's not like it's not breaking no law. It's not nothing crazy. We just having uh a regular conversation, and then out of nowhere we look up, see a camera been recording us for this whole fucking time. We gonna get creeped the fuck out. Like the fuck? Why this thing? Like the fuck? Nah, boom. Who knows where this camera going? Who knows? Somebody just boom invaded our privacy. Now our whole conversation just got leaked. Like what? Like my whole thing is why is you creating a camera or anything like that when you got police and detectives? Their job is to find shit out. So just let them do their job, find this shit out, remove the cameras. Why add the cameras? You feel me? Like that's what I'm not understanding. I mean, the fact that people can go and watch it is even worse. Then if it's public, like this ain't just no private shit. Like other people can access it too. I heard some of them kind of accessible too, so random niggas could look through 'em. See what I'm saying? Like imagine a regular dude got into like an argument with one of the niggas that can access one of these cameras, and the nigga that can access the camera like, oh, okay, cool. He just go leak this nigga out everything. A argument, no violence, no nothing. A argument. Nigga want to be petty. He just go leak his everything. Now nigga know his car. Now nigga know where you work at. Now nigga know your family. This like some psyched out movie shit. In Europe, they starting to work about a chat control AI. I ain't gonna lie, AI gotta go, bro. AI gotta go, bro. I saw something about a dude, like I don't know if it was like a kid or something. He was in a relationship with an AI, and I don't know if he like because like the AI said she didn't want to be with him. It was something like that. I forgot. But the nigga was in a relationship with an AI, and I was like, the AI be telling me they'll do it, you know, and they just think this okay. Everybody can't make it to heaven, gang. The world fucked up, bro. Everything, even if it's end to end, like what's up? Even if y'all probably don't have it, they would check everything. Like if I joke about something crazy, the AI might mess up. I had WhatsApp before, but I didn't imagine me going to jail because of Chat GPT. How to make a bomb. Jail. But on some real shit, why are you searching it? 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 If you cracking jokes to Chat GPT, your ass from my fear. I ain't gonna lie. That is like some weird shit. Like I only use Chat GPT like when I needed help with homework. Maybe like if I was planning to save for something, I didn't feel like going through the shit just to like, so I used it almost as like a calculator. But I only used it for that and like homework when I was in school. Besides that, it wasn't nothing like that. What nigga think AI can laugh? I only use that shit for research when I'm writing. That's what I'm saying. Like AI gotta go.
are called PTZ, pan, tilt, zoom, which are purpose made for the tracking of people and faces. That may seem fine to some of you, subjectively. We all have different thresholds in terms of privacy invasion, but What if I now said that a large number of these Flock Condor cameras had been hooked up and left openly accessible to the entire internet? Jointly published by Ben Jordan and 404 Media, it turned out that many of these cameras were publicly viewable, which is dangerous from a
Bro, look
security
at that,
perspective. It
bro,
turned out that many of these cameras
nigga. You think these rich ass people in this nice ass houses want a nigga watching them through a camera? Like I just said, imagine a nigga got an op and a nigga know how to do this shit. Oh, that nigga's done. And I feel like the nigga that made the camera should go to jail with the nigga that did the crime, because you gave the nigga access to the nigga to go do the crime. Am I making sense? Are you hearing me? Open your ears, nigga, and listen. Do you hear? Bro, I'm not crazy, bro. I might fuck around, mask up, and start spray painting over them cameras. Slime, why would you admit that in my chat, bro? I'm gonna erase your comment so when you do it, you don't go to jail, alright? Real nigga shit, type shit. Hey, at least they don't know your real name. They just know you Slime. Slime can be anybody. Slime can be anybody. Slime can be anybody. I just helped commit a fucking crime.
were publicly viewable, which is dangerous from a security perspective right off the bat. But
Hey,
also,
he was talking about in GTA. He was talking about like doing that shit in GTA on the game. GTA 5 RP, because GTA 6 coming out in November. Just clarifying.
gave picture perfect insight
I
into
think
what they're
anybody
actually
could be
doing.
Slime.
The-
You just need the gadgets. Anybody could do that crime. You just need the gadgets.
These cameras track movement. They will zoom in on phone screens when visible, and they're positioned everywhere, from playgrounds to parking lots, walking paths, stores, and more. Even the LPR cameras, license plate readers, are now popping up aimed at basketball courts, bike trails, and entrances to major consumer locations, thoroughfares, malls, things like that. You don't have to look very far to find examples where the camera is taking infrared pictures of people, not vehicles. No vehicles are even present in such cases. And for the sake of totality, in their second quarter 2025 law enforcement summary, Flock unveiled that all of their LPRs will become video enabled with a mere software patch. Just to clarify, as the company simultaneously claims, even now as of initial publication, as the company claims that LPRs do not constitute mass surveillance because they're simply point-in-time images, they have also offered a very simple upgrade, completely free, I might add, so that existing cameras can now have video capabilities enabled at the press of a button. It's kind of like Schrodinger's camera, a network of surveilling devices taking point-in-time images, but it's technically not a surveillance network, according to them, even though the cameras literally also have video, except when someone uses it that way, because that's what it does and how it's being used. Freedom of Information Act and public records requests are
12 days ago. But if a nigga working that quick,
now showing definitively that these cameras are being used for traffic citations. The information is being used by Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, ICE, across deportation activities, and for the purpose of monitoring protests as well. The cameras that are definitely not a surveillance network are being used precisely how one might theoretically be.
I just want to say something real quick. It would be better if like this could have just been something where like the army had this to look at other countries to eliminate their enemies, instead of inside your country, but again, maybe I'm just tripping.
Begin using a mass surveillance network before it's fully completed. Contained in now public records from Danville, Illinois, as a description for why law enforcement agencies are then using the Flock database.
In a way, they kind of already got it in other countries, like some drones and shit.
Which is enforcement and removal operations for ICE, which means that Flock cameras, whether or not they were ever intended to become this, which I would presume they were based on company decision making, Flock cameras are being used as an integrated surveillance database across.
For instance, let's say we in war with fucking Iran or Iraq or some shit, and boom, we need to know what them niggas was doing. Call Flock, get your cameras there. Don't put that shit on us. Honestly, bro, if they was gonna allow this shit to be legal, if it was a nigga that did want to like make a bomb or do some shit like that, just hide that bitch in his house or on his house. You know, where set up it's only just him instead of everybody else. Cause now you invading everybody else's privacy. I'm surprised these niggas ain't get sued yet. Ain't that a law like invading privacy? Ain't that like can't you go to jail for that? Cameras are conspicuous and easy to spot. Some of them. Like these cameras black. So imagine it's dark as fuck at night. You see what I'm saying? Like
Across the United States,
they
where
got
federal law
CIA
enforcement
spies for that, and you just proved my point again. That's their job. We don't need this shit.
agencies access real-time data, previous license plate pictures, car specifications, and even always listening microphones to track, arrest, and deport targets. This is where it gets tricky, okay? The individual reason why law enforcement decides to use a mass surveillance system isn't the only factor that matters. A certain group of people, politically, tend to support the idea of law enforcement doing this, at least in terms of immigration. It's a very controversial subject in America right now. But what we need to understand is the difference between a framework and general usage of that framework. If you have a network of interconnected companies or police departments, in this case most of all sharing audiovisual surveillance with each other, but they only ever use that system for the tracking and conviction of, let's say, high-profile violent criminals, a sizable share of the population has no real issue with that. The problem comes when that very same system is used for more. Under the Raven description for Flock microphones discussed previously, we can see fireworks and community disruption. These are not violent crimes, obviously, but in a world where the government can access all of that data on a whim from a complex network of police departments and third-party vendors who are all sharing what they capture across every facet of citizen life, in a world like that, what possible mechanism is there to stop the government from using LPRs, microphones, and PTZ cameras all in conjunction with one another so that the people buying and shooting their fireworks, for example, because they're specifically mentioned, are now penalized? It's a revenue opportunity, first and foremost, through civil penalties against citizens. It's a control mechanism, and most of all, it's a flexible foundation by which any number of further authoritarian policies can be executed or enforced in the future. Networks like this don't just snap into existence overnight. There have been warning signs about the creeping authority of the federal government, at least in the United States, for decades. In the wake of September 11th, 2001, the Patriot Act was largely viewed as a particularly notable step down that road. More recently, the Kids Internet and Digital Safety Act has been making its way through Congress, pushing towards a near total destruction of internet privacy. That'll be a future project on the channel, ID verification, the assault on the internet, stuff like that. But for today's video, the focus is on Flock, video surveillance, audio surveillance, but even with that narrow focus, the pattern itself is undeniable. Something I found to be particularly notable, especially when you consider the contradictions on the official Flock website, is that the company has deliberately opted to exclude their website from the Internet Archives. A small thing in the grand scheme, however, subjectively, I don't know if I've ever seen a reputable company intentionally exclude themselves from the process of archiving information. That practice, in my experience, is almost universally reserved for conmen, scammers, and corporations that are intentionally acting against the public good. All of this makes no mention of false positives, by the way. According to Institute for Justice, dozens of people have now been pulled over, held at gunpoint, arrested, or jailed because of mistakes that these cameras are making. A particularly notable recent case from Toledo, Ohio, occurred when the camera mistook the number 2 for the number 7, leading to a scenario where the unsuspecting driver was attacked by a police dog before being arrested and detained, while officers repeatedly told him that his car had a stolen license plate. Obviously, it didn't. They were wrong, but that never stopped the attack dog or the arrest. There is an argument to be made that the company selling the hardware isn't responsible for how the hardware gets used.
I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Which obviously does make sense to a degree. It's not the first time that argument has been made. But when you manufacture something which is purpose-built for the implementation of a mass surveillance system, that's what the functionality is designed around, while excluding your own company from the online archives, it does raise questions. And it's also not the only thing that Flock
Yeah,
has
that
recently
expander
done.
gonna be giving you
In
problems,
January of 2026, shortly after revelations that dozens of Flock cameras were hooked up to the
the
open
last 5
internet,
minutes.
the company made a host of changes to their legal terms. A direct comparison shows a multitude of differences,
The same
mainly
shit,
typical
really.
corporate jargon, a lot of it, but one change in particular stood out to me. Under the limitation of liability section in February of 2026, Flock proceeded to eliminate the entire section on gross negligence or willful misconduct. Previously, the company had terms where deliberate or reckless harm that they cause would not be subject to limitations of liability, or at least differently. However, after the change, those protections were gone. If the company were to go now and cause grossly negligent or deliberate harm, such as data breaches or willful lack of security, things like that, if it were to happen now, the number of recourse options available to those impacted by it would be greatly decreased, which is explicitly by design. And all of this, by the way, is taking place as the company now manufactures camera-equipped drones as the next component of a nationwide surveillance state. Now for the part about what you can do. As of right now, at least 8 different cities across the United States. Over in the UK, it looks like they're just physically destroying the cameras.
Drones.
But here in the United States, at least 8 different cities have been forced to remove these cameras, or at the very least, scale them back significantly after public records requests. Because of the nature of the footage, legally designated as public records by certain courts, multiple jurisdictions are choosing to break contract entirely rather than make any portion of it public. Authoritarian operations like this require subtlety. They don't thrive in direct sunlight. So considering how frequently people ask, what can we possibly do about any of this, I'd like to include 2 separate links. The ACLU.
Slob, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. If this shit was to get out of hand, bro, to where like it gets extremely bad, it might start a civil war, bro. It genuinely might start a civil war.
American Civil Liberties Union, and the EFF, Electronic Frontier Foundation, who both have excellent write-ups on what is happening, why it's happening, and the things that you individually can do to help stop it. What those options are changes dramatically based on region. There is no one-size-fits-all, so I can't give it to you. But for anyone who's interested, there are definite ways of making an actual difference in your local community. Flock is a hardware manufacturer, a software developer, and an AI surveillance company where the products that they make are the latest iteration of a multi-decade war on privacy. The words safety and security are all too often a precursor before trampled liberties and civil rights violations. I believe that is happening again right now. That's it. If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. A special VPN deal, locals and Patreon, channel memberships, the Upper Echelon website, and more, much more. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, question everything, and have a nice night.
Thanks. WV. If you see a drone, shoot that bitch out the sky.